Jaden Show, and here's your host, Jaden Cornelious.
Hey, and welcome to another Jaden Show. Obviously, it's Sunday, and oh my god, these weeks are just flying past. I can't believe we're already halfway through March. Oh, Dios mío, as they would say here in Mexico. Now, this show is going to be absolutely amazing because I have got a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lady all the way from the UK. She is a TV presenter. She is a radio presenter. She is doing my dream job, and she's so bloody lovely as well. Her name is Hayley Palmer. Let's go and check her out.
Make sure you join me on the Memory Lane 80s show Saturday night. My special guest will be Paul Young. Yes, that's on Saturday night on Sky Freesat or online. I will see you there. Duncan James, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Woo!
Thank you for having me. This is
we've now come to the end of the show. Big thank you for tuning in today. Just brilliant to have your company with me, and a huge thank you to the lovely Duncan James. Now, remember, I love hearing from you. Details are on the screen below. I will see you same time, same place next week with my special guest, Chesney Hawkes. Oh yes, I'll see you then.
Well, let's go and meet Hayley Palmer, this week's very special guest. Hayley Palmer, welcome to Mexico and the Jaden Show.
Oh wow, it's a pleasure to be here, and I've never been to Mexico.
Well, see, this is your first introduction to it.
It's a rainy England, yeah.
Well, now this is the first stage in the Mexico-England kind of transition. The next stage is visiting, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I love sunshine. I'm a sunshine girl, so
sunshine, tacos, and beach. That's not bad, right?
Sounds good.
So, where are you from originally? Because obviously you're from Old Blighty, but what part of Blighty are you from?
I'm originally from a town near Portsmouth in Hampshire.
Okay.
So I was brought up by the sea, but now I'm in London.
Oh, you're in London.
But I often visit Portsmouth. I am now, yes, but originally from Pompey. Got the blue
nice. To the core, she says, to the core. So you are international TV presenter now, doing the most amazing thing on your Memory Lane's 80s show, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was called Memory Lane 80s to begin with because I just love the 80s. And everyone's like, why are you in a time machine the whole time? I'm like, I don't like current music. I only like 80s and 70s and 90s. So I started off presenting the show for Sky Channel. Absolutely loved it, and then started to get more guests on the show. Now it's called Saturday Night with Hayley Palmer because that means I can kind of broaden it up a little bit more and get different guests on. But I just love the 80s. We've had everyone on there from the Fizz, formerly known as Bucks Fizz, Nick Kershaw, Chesney. He's actually 90s, but we'll let him off.
Yeah. He was on the cusp,
Sonia.
right?
Yeah. Paul Young, Paul Carrick. So just an amazing lineup.
Wow.
And it's just wonderful to hear their journeys and go through a catalogue of their songs. So it's a real dream come true.
I think it's I mean, I became like one of my best mates when I was living in London was Stedman Pearson from 5 Star.
I know Stedman,
yeah. He was one of my bestie when I lived in London, and I remember kind of like going to one of his dance classes, and I was dancing, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, that's Stedman. He'd been my friend for a while, and I'm like, that's Stedman from 5 Star. And I was just all of a sudden in that zone was like, I was the biggest 5 Star fan back in the day. Like,
Rain or Shine.
Systematic, and and it's funny now, like now I live in Mexico. I'm a classical crossover singer essentially, so I'm like Josh Groban, like the whole Il Divo thing. That's what I would normally do, but since moving here, and it's such like a tourist community where I live, I can be in the middle of singing "Es un Dorma" and someone will go, do you know any Whitney? Got any 80s? So I'm like, wouldn't it be good to be on your side? And it's like, all of a sudden, I'm now singing all the stuff from my youth I used to love to listen to, and now I'm singing that on a day. I'm still chucking in the occasional Ness and Dorma, you understand? But now I'm singing all the stars I loved, including Rain or Shine from because it was the best time not sure about the fashion and the haircuts, but the music
and the shoulder pads, but the actual music. I mean, those songs stand the test of time. I mean, if you look at the songs now, I do like them, but I'm like, oh, what was that song again? But when you think of the 80s classics, I mean, they're so good. They get covered time after time after time. And they're so well known now. So it just shows you that these songs were pure class.
They were magic. We in the town that I live, it's a tiny, tiny town in the middle of Mexico, well, on the Caribbean coast of Mexico. There's nothing really here. I mean, it's just the most beautiful places to eat and drink and chill. And they just opened an 80s disco bar. And you go in there and it literally is like, it's just with all the furniture and like the pop art and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is my youth. This is my youth. Yeah, so it's amazing. Obviously, you've had the most phenomenal artists on your show. Who has been some of your most inspirational, I'm not going to say favourites, but who have been like the ones that you thought, oh my God, like this has been class, mate?
Well, on Christmas Day, I had Michael Bolton on the show, and not only was he the most wonderful, charming man, but also I didn't realise until I did my homework, like his story. And his backstory is that he worked so hard to make it and got rejected time after time, kept going, kept following his dreams and got there. And I just think that's so inspirational, because we just think that people have made it overnight, and very rarely, you know this from interviewing people, very rarely is that the case. People have had to work so hard and put in so much work and do it for not a lot of money, but you do it because you love it. And when you hear stories like that, you're just like, wow, you deserve every success. So yeah, I felt like that was a real in-depth interview, and it really touched my heart. So I've got to say Michael Bolton.
Oh, sweet. No, he's what a phenomenal artist as well. Oh my, that boy's voice. Jeez. But no, it's very true what you said. Like, you know, like I've been an artist for 30 years now, you know, and I'm classing my journey as that I've made it because I've met and worked with some of the most phenomenal people in Europe and England, and I've loved so many aspects of the changes within the industry. Like now, I can sell an album in Ethiopia from while I'm having a wee. Do you know what I mean? It's just like because of the power of the internet. Back in the 90s, if you wanted people in Leeds to hear you, you had to go to Leeds, do a 3-song PA in a dodgy nightclub where everyone was off their face and probably wouldn't remember you the next day anyway, you know. And it was hardcore grafts. Like there was nothing glamorous about the industry apart from the occasional party at all. It was hardcore graft, mate. But now it's just phenomenal how it's changed, you know. But if I made it tomorrow, I'll still probably be an overnight success.
Yeah, they say it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah,
and,
that's
I
minimum.
think for most people that's the case. I mean, people aren't going to come and knock on your door and go, oh, by the way, would you like to come on, you know, this morning? It just doesn't happen. I mean, sometimes I hear some people are in the right place at the right time, but generally speaking, no, you've got to graft, you've got to believe in yourself as well. I mean, it took me to my late 30s to become a presenter because I didn't quite believe I could do it. I have always loved talking, but I just didn't know if I had that self-belief. And now I'm 40, I'm like, this is my chance and I'm absolutely going for it, and nothing will hold me back. And I just think you have to have that belief. Like I teach college students and schools, like I do little inspirational chats, and I'm always saying, you know what, do what you love and just absolutely go for it, because you watch other people do it, so why not you? So
Absolutely.
You have to have that belief, and you have to have that hard work ethic. Sometimes you can't go to that party because you've got to sit in and work or prep for an interview or go that little extra mile so you stand out as a presenter. But no one teaches you this, no one taught me this. So I have learned the hard way, but I do believe anything is possible. No,
I remember doing like Capital Radio road shows in Docklands, and there was an after show party, and then like everyone was there, and like, I was a 90s pop star, do you know what I mean? So like everyone was there, from Orange and Billy Piper and like all the, you know, All Saints and all that. And then I couldn't go to the party because I had to get up, and I'm 20, I think I was 24, 25 at the time. And I had to get up the next morning to do a paper round to be able to pay my phone bill because there was no money in it at the time. Because, you know, like you said, you're working. It's graft for very little comeback, to be fair. So, yeah, it's a lot of work, mate. But actually some of the most magical moments of my life, I think. I think sometimes when you have the least, you appreciate the things the most, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, sometimes you need another job to pay the bills to do your dream job, you know. So I think if you want it enough, you'll make it happen. I mean, in lockdown, I couldn't go into the studio to film, and I was just sat there and I was like, what am I going to do? So luckily, my parents who live in Portsmouth, bless them, were like, do you want to turn the dining room into a studio so you can still film? And I was like, oh, bless them. Yeah. So, you know, I had to do it because otherwise all that work I'd done, I wouldn't be able to do for the next, well, we didn't know how long lockdown would be, but, you know, we didn't know, did we? So, you know, I had to make it work somehow. And that's it. When you want it enough, like nothing gets in your way. It's like, well, how are we going to do this? How are we going to find a solution? So that's the attitude you need definitely in the industry, you know, whether it's music or entertainment or presenting or singing, you know, you have to have that mentality, I think.
And just find that, I mean, like everything, COVID changed everything for every artist known to man, really, because, you know, we had to find ways to adapt and evolve. And for me, I was in isolation in the jungle. I just want to talk to people and I want to meet people and talk about music and things that I love. And so I thought, I'm doing the Jaden Show. Sod it. And I've been very blessed to speak to some, you know, six months of doing my own show now. I've been speaking to some lovely people. And, you know, it's just been something that's really just kept me really inspired. I still get, it's like this is my social life. I need like, you know, a Bacardi and Coke and a packet of pork scratchings or something, or cheese and onion crisps. And I'm like, oh. Yeah, so you came prepared. So what is the future for Hayley Palmer? Like, where do you see things going? Like, what are your dreams, your aspirations? What's happening?
Oh, well, at the moment I'm doing my 2 Sky shows, which I love. So for that, I just want to get bigger and better guests. You know, there's always someone that I've got my eye on. I'm like, you're coming on the show, you have no choice, you're on the show. And also I'm presenting the entertainment news for GB News. So I go on and talk about what to watch on TV or whatever's happening showbiz wise that week, and also present the entertainment news for BBC Radio Solent, which covers Portsmouth and Southampton, where I'm from. So that's a real dream as well. So yes, just improving every day and just going for it and seeing what happens. But I am very disciplined. I do goals lists, vision boards, and Would you say in this moment in time, are you living your dream at the moment, or are you searching for that next step? No, I really appreciate where I am. And before I did this, I was a dance teacher, so I always enjoyed that. But there was a time when I was working in an office, and I was just looking back now, I just felt so low. Like I would think of excuses not to go into work. I'd be like, just my energy was low, and I'd sit there and I'd daydream and I'd be like, how can I be a presenter? And you think it's a million miles away. You think people like laugh at you thinking, oh, just get on with your day job, you know. But I sat there and something inside me was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. But when I do this, I know I'm doing the right thing because I'm getting that high, I'm getting that buzz, and I want to do more of it. But I do appreciate where I've come from, and I try and, you know, write down my gratitude list, and sometimes you have to stop and go, hang on, I've come a long way from when I started. So I was the same.
Office, working in a bank, completely depressed. Started teaching Zumba. That was kind of like my own outlet.
I used to teach Zumba as well.
We need to do a masterclass, darling, when I come to England to visit, right? But no, it was weird. I've had too many tacos now, sister, you understand. So I need to do a little bit of prepping first. But no, I used to teach Zumba, and that was my only outlet because I didn't really like exercise, but I love music and dance, and that was the thing. And and it was just like, you have to kind of just keep believing that something is possible, right? And I think, like I said, I was offered like the broom cupboard on BBC and to be a Blue Peter presenter, and like because I was like back in the 90s, and I turned it all down because I was too shy. And looking back, I mean, it was probably the right thing to do because that was what I did right at the time. But looking back now, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had the confidence and the I don't really give a shit kind of attitude now that I have about my life. I don't care whether people like me or don't. I try and be the best person I can be. And I wish I'd had this mentality now back in the 90s, because I would have been rocking it. Do you know what I mean? I would have taken every opportunity that was given to me instead of turning every opportunity down bar none, I think, really. So it's amazing how...
Yeah, that's it. Your mentality changes, doesn't it? Because when I think to my behaviour when I was like 21, it's like you just don't have that mindset at all. And it's only when you get older that you realise that everything's a mindset. You know, you just got to say yes and then worry about how you're going to do it afterwards.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Say yes to everything, then panic. But you can't panic publicly. So by the time you have to do it, you've worked it all through your system anyway. So, when I come to England, you come to Mexico, I think we need a coffee and a catch up, because I think we're really quite similar.
And a bit of Zumba.
And a bit of Zumba, absolutely. Yeah, I was teaching in Langley near Slough and Windsor. Yeah, I used to teach there. It's hilariously funny. It was called DJ Zumba because we had like a nightclub set up. It was like all disco lights and people brought Prosecco. It was so not healthy. But it was amazing, right? It was class, mate. And just all these ladies just dancing, having a glass of wine, and then dancing and doing some more. It was hilarious fun. It was so, I do miss it.
It's a great escape, though, isn't it? I mean, I exercise every day because you need to, like mentally, I need to. You know, it's my escape, and I love dancing. I love music. And,
it took me back to
ladies can come along and let themselves go.
Yeah, no, completely. It took me back to the 90s when I was a singer and dancer. So, I could still, I didn't have all the nerves and the responsibilities that you have to do when you're in the industry and have to follow certain protocols. I could just get up and dance to Shakira. And I've always loved Latin music, and I've loved Spanish. I mean, I couldn't speak it until I lived in Mexico, but I've always loved that kind of reggaeton vibe and stuff like that. And, and so to teach it, to listen to it for an hour, 4 or 5 times a week and dance in front of people and be stupid. What an amazing, and get paid. Happy days.
Winning.
Yeah, I think I just convinced myself to do it here now. I think that's what I'm going to start doing.
Yeah, you should do.
Yeah. Before we go, my darling, because I know you've got so much to do. And firstly, thank you so much for coming on my show. You're bloody amazing. And I'm so pleased I got to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
I want to do a little thing with you. It takes literally 1 minute. It's called Quickfire. I'm going to throw 2 words at you. And you're going to tell me which word resonates with you in that moment. You cannot pass. You cannot not answer. But you can say you don't like either of them, Jaden. Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Deal.
Hayley Palmer.
I'm ready.
This is your Quickfire. Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings.
Woo! I don't like either.
Oh, okay. If you had to... Well, what would you like instead then?
Neighbours or Home and Away?
Oh, okay. Soap opera. Fantastic. Winter or summer?
Summer.
YouTube or TikTok?
YouTube.
Vampires or werewolves?
Neither.
What would you prefer?
Angels or mermaids?
Love it. Girly girl. Love it. Fantastic. Endless money or true love?
What a question. What a question.
Or true love with endless money would be my answer, to be fair.
True love with endless money.
Okay. Pajamas or naked?
Pajamas.
And last but by no means least, Haagen-Dazs or Ben & Jerry's? Controversial.
Can we go with like white Magnum or Cornetto?
Or
White
Cornetto.
Magnum.
White Magnum for sure.
Yeah.
Hayley Palmer, thank you so much. You are bloody wonderful. I've had such a nice time.
You do.
And we'll catch up soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Big love from Mexico. Hasta luego. I could have spoken to that lady for bloody hours, and I really do feel that a coffee is definitely on the cards when I get back to good old England in the not too distant future. Anyway, thank you so much for being part of today's show. Thank you, Hayley, for being part of today's show. You were bloody wonderful to speak to, and I'm so excited that you were on my show. Now, we're not going to end just there. I think we need a bit more music, and I haven't shown this video for a while. So actually, this is my new song that was actually, I'm featuring on a track by Mexican artist Black Sicano. It's reggaeton. It's got a few different flavors in there. I hope you like it. It's a great summer feel, and I'm guessing that mid-March in England, you need a bit of a summer feel. It's shot in the area that I live. It's bloody lovely. This is called Without Me. This is Black Sicano featuring Jaden Cornelius. See you next week on The Jaden Show. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to comment, to tell your neighbours and your friends and your family and the people you don't even like, because maybe, just maybe, they will like you once you share this wonderful show with them. Take care. Hasta luego. Cuídate. Bye-bye.
'Cause I don't see you in the morning when you're waking up right next to me. It's like a dream we're together, then you slowly disappear.
Yo, featuring histórico,
Ya llegó el negro
Black Sicano. Jaden, sing it to him, bro.
Te lo pido, don't go. 'Cause I know, baby, I know you cannot breathe without me. Trust me, I know, porque yo soy tu papi. Baby, I know you cannot live without me. Trust me, mi amor, porque yo soy tu daddy.
Don't go, pero mami don't go. No te vayas por favor, porque si te vas me muero solo. Pero baby, take it easy, you know you gotta be taking it slow. Para que te vas y me dejas solo, muriéndome solo de amor. Juro que te haré feliz, pero regrésate a mí. Te bajo una estrella, te subo la luna, pero quiéreme solo a mí. Yo te llevaré a bailar, yo te quiero y tú a mí. Bailaremos despacito, aunque no me llame Daddy Yankee.
'Cause I don't see you in the morning when you're waking up right next to me. It's like a dream we're together, then you slowly disappear. Te lo pido, don't go.
Jaden, sing it to him, bro.
If you remember, you were the one that kissed me first that night. So you can't imagine how I got you disappear from sight. Mis amigos dicen you was a beauty by your side. I know you're taking it slow, baby, I know you cannot breathe without me. Trust me, I know, porque yo soy tu papi. Baby, I know you cannot live without me. Trust me, mi amor, porque yo soy tu daddy.
Black Sicano. Yo, te desapareces en la sombra de mis sueños, ma. Ahora solo tengo pesadillas y no paro de pensar. Porque tú no estás aquí, porque yo ya no puedo vivir. Me haces recordarlo todo, ya Jaden, no sé decir.
Come back to me, baby, listen to the melody.
Regresa a mí, mami, con todo el amor que yo te di. Ya no te veo en las mañanas, siempre junto a mí. Por eso no quiero despertar, solo quiero dormir.
Always remember how I let you kiss me first that night. Now I'll never let you, and we'll never disappear from sight.
Jaden Cornelious, con el negro más
Where's the
guapo.
beauty by
Playando
your
disco
side?
up in the
There's
laundry
no
room,
one
baby, ya tú
taking
sabes.
it slow.
Backseat the producer.
Baby,